I actually never printed a shirt in LA. I mainly sold shirts. And the way I kind of introduced myself to screen printing was every time they left out, like when the screen printer wasn't around, I often went to the back where the screen printer was located. And I was just looking around, looking at the bottom, seeing how it was made, looking at the springs, the screen itself, lifting the arm up and down. I was just looking at the screen printer, seeing how it was built, and then everything just started coming to my mind, saying to myself, I bet I can build one of these out of wood. All I gotta do is just get some wood, some springs, screws, put everything together. I should be able to work it manually. So that's what was going through my mind when I first seen how the screen printer was built. But other than that, that was pretty much it. I never printed any shirts in Los Angeles. All I did was sold shirts. The person that did the actual printing in LA, including my OJ Don't Squeeze the Juice t-shirts with the cartoon character on the front, the Mexican dude. They had a Mexican dude, I can't quite remember his name. And the person that owned the business was Larry Weathers. And I just want to say shouts out to Larry Weathers. I actually met somebody here in Atlanta a few months ago who just happened to walk in my shop. And he told me he was from Los Angeles. And he told me he actually knew who Larry Weather was. And he told me he had some health problems the last time he seen him. So I'm hoping that someday Larry Weathers will see me in this video. And I just want to say I hope the best for him and his family. It's been a long time. I would love to come out there to see him again. And I appreciate him for taking me in and helping him out with a whole lot of designs. Because that's basically what I did. I did a lot of designs for Larry, you know. Uh, Now, I was in Los Angeles selling shirts, I say, for the whole summer of 1994. So this is like 2 years after the riot. Now, when I got back to Milwaukee, and my father, he helped me open up my first shop and everything. Well, before I get to that, the way I started off printing shirts was, well, first of all, I built my screen printer in my mom and dad's basement on 5th Street on the north side of Milwaukee. And once I built my first screen printer, I went to the library because I really didn't know everything about screen printing. I just know that it was done by use pushing the ink back and forth with the squeegee. But I still needed more knowledge about how to coat the screens and drying them in the dark and everything. Now, some of that stuff I learned about when I was out in Los Angeles. I never done it, but I was just told how that process was done by this guy named Johnny. Now, Johnny, he was the dude that ran the errands for Larry. So anytime he needed to go downtown, pick up some T-shirts for the Chinese people, we would jump in the truck. He had like a straight truck where he carried a lot of supplies. So me and Johnny, we would jump in that straight truck and we'd just ride down to downtown LA. We'd scoop up a few dozens of shirts, bring them back to Larry. Then Larry, he'd have them pressed up. But Johnny was the one that he kind of schooled me on how stuff was done. As far as coating screens, how long it takes for the screens to dry in the dark. He told me about how to bind the screens onto the light table and everything. And That's another thing I was checking out too, as far as the light table, because it looked like they built the light table themselves. It wasn't something that they bought from a screen printing shop or anything. It was something that looked like someone built by hand. And they had like these fluorescent, not fluorescent lights, but they was like the halogen lights that get real hot. And I think he had like about 4 or 6 lights down at the bottom. And it was like a real big box with a glass top, big enough where you could burn 2 screens at one time. And so when I got back to Milwaukee, I built one exactly like that. And now the screen printing part, as far as burning screens and mixing the emotion and everything, I learned a lot of stuff also from a book that I stole. I stole a book from the library. See, back in them days, like in the mid-90s, we didn't have computers, we didn't have the internet, anything like that. So in order for me to receive information, I would have to go to the library. So that's what I did. I went to the library right there on Martin Luther King Drive in Locust in Milwaukee. I found a book a screen printing book. And I actually stole the book from the library because I needed all the information I could get. So I took the book, and I still have the book today. Matter of fact, if I would have been thinking, I probably would have the book with me right now, but I still have it. It's back there in the back, packed away. But anyway, that's how I learned the screen printing process, by just checking out the books in the library, and I just happened to steal one. And that was pretty much it right there. My prints, they wasn't always really all that perfect, but some prints came out okay, some prints didn't. But I done a lot of practice testing in my parents' basement. And once I was starting to get the hang of things as far as burning the screens and doing designs, then I felt that I was ready to open up my shop. And so instead of trying to make money out my parents' basement, I just wanted to wait until I got my own shop. And I finally opened up my shop within weeks after practicing in my parents' basement. And so my first shop that I opened up was on Martin Luther King Drive, right across the street from KFC. I was there for maybe about a year and a half. Then I started having problems with the building. And so I left that building and I found a new building. The space was much smaller, but it was a lot better. The heat worked a lot better in the wintertime and everything. And that was on 41st and North Avenue, right next to right next to a beauty salon. Yeah, right next to the beauty salon. Yeah, so that was me back in 1997. That was not the first shop, but that was my second shop on 41st and North. And I had that shop for another year and a half. I think I shut the business down around in 1999, 1998, somewhere right around up in there. And I started working. Well, I always had a 9-to-5 job, and I just had the screen printing business as my side hustle. But after 1999, or was it 2000? You know what? I think I closed the business down around in 2000. No, it was 99. It was 99 because I had a friend by the name of Paco. We had went to Las Vegas to a clothing convention. And that was in 2000. And around that time, I didn't have my shop. I was living on 4th and Keith when that happened. So yeah, around Yeah, it had to be around in '99, and yeah, we went to the clothing convention in 2000 in Las Vegas, and we stayed out there for like a day and a half or something like that, and then I had to come back to Milwaukee. But yeah, but other than that, I pretty much didn't do anything. All I did was just worked. I kind of lost focus on the screen printing thing, and I didn't have no other business in mind or anything like that. So I worked. This is where I wasted a lot of my years between 2000 and 2012. So I pretty much just worked a regular job. Now, by the time 2007 kicked in, that's when I started working for Coca-Cola. And I was starting to get a little bit knowledge about the computer. I say around 2009, 2010. My son, I got two sons. My oldest son, EJ, he kind of helped me out with my email. So he showed me how to set up my email. So this is like my first time learning all this stuff. You know, the younger generation, they know a lot more than the older generation, Generation X, you know, when it comes to computers and setting up stuff, you know, like email, apps, and all that type of stuff. And so my son, he helped me set up my email. Then I had a couple of other people that showed me how to use the computer. And by the time 2010 came, I had did a design for some co-workers at, from Coca-Cola, you know, because they was trying to do the music thing, and they needed someone to design like their record label. And so when they seen the design, they asked me how I do it, and I just told them I freehand everything. They thought I did it on the computer, but this one dude, I call him D Black, he told me that I should take up graphic design in school. That way I can become a better designer. You know, once I get on the computer, everything will come out nice and crisp. You know, and so after that, my mind was set on graphic design. And that was around in 2012. I think I did the design, the record label design. I did that around in 2011. And I said by the time 2012 kicked in, that's when I lost the job. And then that's when I started seriously thinking about getting back into, taking up graphic design at the Art Institute of Wisconsin, which is in downtown Milwaukee. And so I went there for a few months. Make the long story short, I got transferred to the one in Atlanta, Sandy Springs. That's on the north side of Atlanta. And that was in later in 2012. September 28th was when I arrived in Atlanta. And my logo, my business logo, which is right here. You gotta excuse my camera, everything is in reverse. But anyway, when I went to the Art Institute of Atlanta, I did a whole bunch of thumbnails because I already had in my mind that I was thinking about starting my own graphic design, screen print business. So I was trying to come up with a logo. And the logo that I have today is the logo that I had came up with in 2012. And I stuck with that logo ever since. Yeah. Other than that, that's pretty much it. And that's how I learned about the screen printing business. Now, how I got better in screen printing from watching YouTube, because now you have a whole lot of other screen printers that's on YouTube, giving out all types of tips and pointers. And so I watched, I learned, and I got better at the game. And that's pretty much it. Hey, if y'all like my channel, don't be afraid to hit that red green button right there in the corner. Subscribe to my channel, Ed Shaw Graphics. All right now.